Hey everybody, for those of you who caught my article on the Mastery Pass that went up yesterday, or maybe my previous video on the subject, you may have appreciated some information there. But of course, because this is how it goes, within 8 hours of me posting an article on the value proposition of the Mastery Pass, Wizards announced really big changes around the Mastery Pass economic proposition that we ought to talk about. It's all good. It's all good. But basically, let's go to the Mastery tab here, and I'm actually going to jump out of your way so you can see it a little better. So as a quick refresher, they introduced this feature where for 3,400 gems, you can buy access to this bottom track. Everybody gets access to this top track and the rewards on it. And you make progress on these tracks by earning XP. XP is earned through completing quests, winning games, and special codes and what they're calling XP events that contain XP. And the idea is that there'll be one for every set. So right now we're on core set, and it is active throughout the season. It lasts until the end of the season, and then it's replaced presumably with another one for the next set. And you can get up as far as to level 100. And if you make it all the way to level 100, you get the final reward of an orb that gives you styles and the super sweet, super deluxe animated VFX Chandra sleeves. You see, like, level 99 is 200 gems. So if you miss level 99, that's 200 gems of value gone, for example. So really our goal in buying this pass is to make it to 100, or to at least understand the value proposition, make sure it's still a good deal if we don't think we can get to 100. But good news, they have made it much easier for people to get to 100. So here's how they adjusted the numbers on those 4 ways to get XP that I was talking about. So previously, completing a quest, any quest, you can see that there's a little XP hiding out behind it. And in fact, I don't know if they've updated it immediately or not. But anyway, completing a quest is going to get you now 500 XP. Okay. So now they're back to, okay, they have updated it. So these are now worth 500 XP, as you see, 500 Mastery XP. And they switched. This is the big switch. They had been tying XP to daily wins. So your first win was worth 100, your second was worth 50, your third was worth 50. This was the biggest sticking point with the community because it was not making it a purchase that non-daily players wanted to make. Because if you weren't playing daily, you were just flat out missing out on a lot of XP every day you missed. And boy, if you miss completing a quest, you were leaving a lot on the table. So they responded to that feedback and said, okay, we're getting rid of tying XP to daily quests. We're going to make it weekly again. And so now the reward, you get 250 XP per win for your first 15 wins of the week. And that's making people really happy, because now the weekend warriors are able to just come in on the weekends and still get a pretty good shot of value. And in fact, if you at some point during the week get in your 15 wins over the course of a week and make sure you finish all your quests, you're going to make level 100 no problem. Like, that's, if you can commit to that, the pass is going to be fine for you. The risk is if you are a player who is not going to win 15 times a week, or is not going to get all of your quests completed, and you have to start doing some math to understand how much XP short you're going to be. Because to go back to the Mastery track, you level up every 1,000 XP. So basically, every quest that you let roll off without having, if you finish your day and your quest slots are complete, a new quest will try to come in and fail, and you'll lose that quest. So if you end the day with all 3 of your quest slots still full, that's going to cost you 500 XP effectively. And every win beneath 15 that you make for the week is going to cost you 250 XP. So if you are someone who knows your rate of play and you feel like you're going to come up short on those a few times, you may want to hold off buying on the pass. But the good news is that if you hold off buying, you can buy at any time in the season and get everything you earned up to that point. So if we bought this pass right now, we would get every reward through level 14, because that's where we are right now. So if you have any doubt about the value of the pass, you can just wait until you're more certain of the value proposition for you. some people have suggested that there's a cost for waiting because you don't have access to this booster, or you don't have access to these resources right away. And while you might not have access to the resources right away, it doesn't really cost, like, all the stuff does get added. Like, I saw somebody saying, oh, but I'm trying to get 4x for the gem grind or whatever, and it's like, well, it doesn't matter if you fill the 4x with stuff outside the pass and then gem grind via the pass, or whether you buy the pass and fill up stuff with the pass and then gem grind after. Does that make sense? Like, when exactly your rares and wildcards come in to help with the gem grinding, what order that comes in doesn't matter as quite as much. And also, if you end up getting that value at the end of the season, it just means you also get to start applying the gems and stuff to the next season. But there is, but if you want stuff now then yes, you have to buy early. But I think it's basically going to be worth it for most players now. One thing to note, though, is that if you, according to Wizards, and I think the math checks out, I'm going to trust them on the math, but you can, I'll link to this update article. Maybe somebody can find the update article and link to it. But basically, they break out what level people would be based on just earning stuff through quests and wins. And if you complete all your quests and win 15 times a week, you will make it to level 94. And that is actually up from level 90 before this update. So actually, even the heavy players get 4 extra levels out of this update. So that's good for them. But that's still not 100. So how do you get to 100? Well, this is where it's still a little bit murky, but I am choosing to trust Wizards on this because I really believe they want this thing to be successful. I believe they want their players to be happy, and they're going to make the changes to make that the case. And I think we've already seen that. This change now demonstrates that they are serious about making changes as needed to make sure the player populace is happy with the results. So I think you can take the leap, because what they are saying is that you will get access to codes. We've already used them on this account, but basically right now, if you type, if you go into the store and up here in redeem code, I know my I'm covering it a little bit, but in the upper right corner, there's redeem code, and you can type level up in there for 2000 XP, and you can type brought back in there for 2000 XP, and that's 4 levels right there. So if you were going to be at 94, boom, now you're at 98. Now you just need 2 more levels, and they have also announced that this was my big concern. It's like they've announced that some events will have XP, and it's like, well, that doesn't help me, because if you're going to put XP behind gem-based events, that's really filthy and not good. If you're going to put them in events I was playing in anyway, well, okay, maybe that's fine. But like, I just didn't understand what they were asking of us in terms of events, and we got our first clue from that article as well. Thank you. Double D's has shared the article link, which is that they are going to start putting, or at least for this set, they've announced what they're calling the Chronicles, which were those free events that we played in. It was the Omniscience draft and Momir. So it sounds like they are willing to put some of it behind free stuff, but basically they're putting it in these Chronicles things, and they have announced that at the end of this month that there's going to be a 5-week. Is it going to be 5 weeks? I want to make sure I get the number of weeks right. Maybe they're not saying. They're saying a new set of Chronicles events will start up at the end of this month and will contribute to set mastery by offering an extra 1000 XP per week of rewards, along with other goodies. We've also taken learnings from the War of the Spark Chronicles events that will be applied to new Chronicles, in particular the maximum wins needed and event length, which will both be shorter. That's good. So they haven't said I don't know how many weeks the Chronicles events are, but they're going to be at least 2. So boom, right there. So if you're going to complete all your quests, win 15 times a week, enter in your redemption codes, and play in the free Chronicles events that we've seen before, then you're going to get to a 100 level, no problem. And your only question in terms of a value proposition, I think, is whether you want to, like for us, this is free to play, and we have 6,100 gems, so we could absolutely go in here and pay for it. But this is a big part of our bankroll towards the limited we're playing right now, so I'm a little hesitant to spend 3,400 to get only 200 gems back right now and be 3,200 down in our bankroll. And I think I'm going to wait on the free-to-play account. I think we're going to find a spot where we can make this purchase and it's going to be good for us, but I'm not in any hurry to do so with free-to-play, especially because our free-to-play goal is to play a lot of limited. So missing out on these boosters and the contents isn't actually that big a deal to us. And One Page asked the $3,400 question. If you buy it at the end of the season, do you still get everything? Yes, you do. So like I said, if I were to buy this pass right now, I'd get everything through level 14. If we were to buy this at the end of the season and we saw that we were at level 89, we'd get everything through level 89. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the nice thing about this whole system is that you haven't lost anything. Nothing has been taken away from you. So anybody who's still not happy with the offering, well, again, it's just a capitalistic situation where you get to choose whether you want to buy or not. And if you don't want to buy, don't buy it. And Wizards will get that message. You can shout on the forums and give comments on the internet, and they see that and it helps. But I think not much helps more than the bottom line voting with your money and just not buying the thing, and them seeing their conversion rate being lower than they want. And when they see that, they're going to make changes to get more people to buy in. So sounds like Venus has a downside that they want to mention. Regards to buying at the end of the season, is a lot of the card styles are limited based and you won't get to use them as much at the end of the season. Yeah, I said that. Like, basically, access to the stuff early is what you get by doing it early. I'm very pragmatic, and for me, I assume I approach things as though the value of cosmetics is 0. If it's more than 0 for you, fantastic. That means these things are even better for you. But I am not going to qualify recommendations around cosmetics because you have to decide on that calculus yourself. Nick is saying, Chris reads a lot of Reddit, so complain away on the internet. Yes, I mean, I made my capuchin monkey experiment analogy, suggesting that people keep in mind that nothing has been lost when they react to this. I didn't intend to tell people not to react or just shut up and accept your fate. You get what you get, and you're going to like it. I merely meant frame your reactions in the context of the fact that nothing is being lost, and it helps you have a more measured response that will probably let you give better feedback to Wizards and more actionable and kind feedback, So let's see, any other questions? Let me go to a quick AMA on this, make sure I have not missed any major questions from people on the mastery system changes. The huge change again is that they removed XP tied to daily wins and shifted it to weekly wins, thus allowing you to not play on a given day and be fine. You can miss up to 2 days in a row now and be fine. You don't want to miss 3 straight days or you'll start losing quests. But know yourself. If you're someone who plays Arena every couple of days and you complete your quests and win 15 times a week, yeah, and you spend on this game anyway, you're going to want to buy the pass. Yeah, everybody likes the move to weekly. It just makes it makes the pass purchasable for a much wider audience for the game. It probably is a drawback. Like, Wizards, I'm sure, wanted to get people playing daily more than they have been, but they listened to the feedback and said the outrage was not worth the maybe a little bit of extra daily play they would get out of players. Yeah, Stephen, people just like to complain about how a product is not good, and that, that's fine, but I would rather just not buy the thing and move on. Where did we decide the break-even point was approximately in terms of actual value back? You know, to do that, like, if someone wants to make a sweet tool, I thought of this last night, but I don't have the chops. I don't program at all. But basically, what you could do, what I want to see is like, every reward for every level put into a database or spreadsheet such that you could then have a visual graphic that's like showed all the stuff, like gold 0, gems 0, packs 0. Because if you're at level 0, you have 0, and then just adjust a slider or be able to input a level and get a list of what you'd get out of it. I mean, that's what you're going to have to do to understand where the break-even point is. And I haven't had the time or inclination to do that yet. But like, I think it's really important to note that 200 gems is level 99. So if you come up even 2 levels short of your goal, that costs you a significant chunk of the the gem EV, getting 200 gems back, for example. So you would ultimately have to just like start subtracting these items from the grand totals to see where the break-even point is. And I honestly just haven't done that yet, because my feeling is if you are so concerned about making break-even here, I really just encourage you to wait. That's one of the reasons I haven't done the math. It's like, you kind of don't need to. Either you can get a sense of the fact that you are definitely one of the players who's going to find value here based on your current rate of play, or you're a little bit unsure. And even if you're just a little bit unsure, just wait. And you can figure it out later in the season and decide that you've hit break even and just pull the trigger then. That's kind of what I'm doing for free to play right now. I feel like it is eventually going to be a good value for this account, but I'm just not willing to commit to it early in the season when we have precious gem resources that I want to use on draft entry right now. And Wujo says, people do the math and say that it pays back at level 43, but only if you value packs as 200 gems. And so there are 20 packs given out, so it sounds like you can do the math there on 20 times 200 to see how much virtual gem kickback is being used for that calculus, and then adjust upwards as you see fit based on how you actually value boosters. I do not value boosters at 200 gems. I value boosters for the free-to-play account, 20-ish gems. That's again, it's an interesting question about how much value a booster is to a limited player, given the fact that you can grind gems, but given the fact that you have to fill up the 4x first. So it's oversimplistic, I think, to say that a booster is worth 20 gems because you can grind rares now. I think you have to take into account that there's some front-loaded work of these packs to fill up the 4x first. Just the rewards would be value of yeah, right. The rewards would be 3,400 at level 43, but if you count packs as 200 gems, which I don't. Feel like online CCGs really haven't solved incentives and monetizations for limited players. Well, maybe not incentives, but I think they've solved the monetization with limited play, given what is required to do it. Speaking of limited play, though, I'm going to say farewell to the people watching this on YouTube and thank them. Also, I'm going to post a link to a survey on favorite YouTube or favorite Twitch personalities for Magic, and I would love for you to fill that out and say that I'm one of your favorites. That would be nice. That's something. Let's get that link. I don't have, let's see. Because that's something everybody could do for me. Even if, let's see, MTG Twitch survey might find it. MTG Twitch survey. I'll find it. I should have had this ready this morning. This is, I don't even know exactly what they're doing with it, but I know that here we go. I think I found it. Here. there is apparently in this survey a Twitch personality question that you could answer. So if you appreciate my content, appreciate this insight into mastery passes, all that stuff, a thing you could do for me is fill out that survey and give me a mention to Wizards so that I'm higher up on their radar.